Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday, and welcome back to Coffee with Kem and Hills. Thank you for being here and joining us, I first want to say. And, oh my goodness, it feels like the beginning of the week for me. I don't know. How are you doing?
Well, it's my favorite day of the week.
I know.
It's going to be super productive today.
I didn't want to constantly hound you on that, but I feel like every Tuesday I'm like, well, we know whose favorite day of the week it is.
I just feel like it's my most productive day of the week. It's, I don't know. And I like that. I don't.
Do you think it's just because it's something now, like a mental attachment that you have with it that makes you want to, or is it the way your week is structured?
It's the way my week is structured.
Okay.
So in my day job, Tuesdays are just my most productive day because Mondays are a lot of catching up on things and doing some routine things and getting them done and out. And then Tuesdays is like getting projects moving and like keeping going and meetings and all the other things.
And that feels good.
It feels good. Like you check a lot of things off the box.
Okay, for like the rest of the week and
For the rest of the week.
Then you feel like, oh, I've accomplished something.
Exactly.
I've made headway this week.
Exactly.
Okay. I guess that makes sense. Do you feel like then you can start relaxing as each weekday goes?
A little bit. Wednesdays are like hectic.
Okay.
Thursdays are like just bigger thought days. I try to put those aside for like bigger projects. Mm-hmm. And then Fridays are sometimes a little bit more mellow.
Right.
But typically people are like frantically trying to get things in before the end of the week. And so...
Right, because you don't want it over the weekend.
No. No.
I know, I'm big like that. I need to really try. And I was really bad about this for a while, which was allotting myself a day off. You know, like really doing it, especially when I've been like creating a lot of my own schedule. And that is something I have decided I need to have. So I've become like really, okay, I need to really, prepare and plan and make sure that I can just have a day of rest for myself because it's so easy. It's easy not to. It really, really is.
Really easy not to.
Yeah. And it's never really a day of rest because I'm chasing a little.
Yeah. You're parenting, you're doing a lot of other things, but you're not working on work stuff.
Yeah. It's just like, it's just family stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's been, well, it wasn't my New Year's resolution, but I have implemented this in my life and it's making a huge difference. So.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
There you go. That's important.
Yeah. So, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
On that note, let's get into some hot topics.
Hot topics.
With our hot coffee. All right. So digital estate planning. Don't let your password die with you.
It's so intense of a headline.
I know.
But it's so true.
I know, and you don't really think about it too, because think how many passwords and just things that you have online that you probably aren't accounting for in your estate planning.
Right.
And this is where I think this article is really important because actually it's really good to account for all of them when you're doing your estate planning, even like the little things that you wouldn't think to be putting in there. Mm-hmm. Because we even have like through social media, it might not be financial based, but it's personal. It's like heirlooms basically. It's your it can be very sentimental footprint. Yeah, it's I like that. A sentimental digital footprint.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
See, Tuesday is my most productive day.
Seriously, take it away, Hillary. So yeah, this article was just kind of, trying to just make us all aware of the fact that now we live in this new digital age and we need to account for all of the digital footprint that we are accumulating, which is massive.
I mean, it used to be that you would have, a file in your house or in a bank or whatever the case may be, where it had all your things like your different investments, your different investment accounts, your different bank accounts. And that was pretty much it. And like how to get a hold of people in case something, when you pass away. It's not in case something happens. When you do pass away, because we will all pass away at some point.
This is the truth.
But now it's really all digital and you don't want to have to so here's the thing. And I think that this article hit this many, many times was like, you don't want to have the people who are taking care of your will, your estate, your trust, or even if you don't have any of those things set up, just your financials. You don't want to have them have the hassle of having to contact Facebook and not only have, your first and last name, your date of birth, the email address that was associated with that account, but also have to provide a death certificate to Facebook just to get access to that account.
Yeah, these are steps that you don't want to be dealing with when, you're mourning a loss of somebody.
Right.
That's wild, and I don't think many people really do think about it. I kind of thought my social media would just die with me. You know what I mean?
I mean, you can.
You can.
But then,
go in and visit it if you want to.
Right. But I think, one of my really good friends had her mother pass away, and this is 10 years ago, so she didn't have a huge digital footprint.
Right.
But one of the things that she had to deal with as taking care of the estate was canceling, subscriptions.
Oh, yeah.
And her cell phone. And the cell phone company was really not very nice about it. And she was like, very matter of fact, and they'd be like, why are you trying to cancel this account? This isn't your account. My mom's dead. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I feel like there are gyms that would be like that too. Like,
right.
If your parent was like frequenting a gym and you're like, they passed away, they'd be like, well, we need a little proof.
Right.
Like,
so she had to send in the death certificate to the phone company in order to cancel it. And she's just, you don't have to deal with this when you're trying to deal with all the other things.
I know, it feels very inhumane, doesn't it? You do not want to deal with that stuff. But it is real. I mean, this is the world that we're living in now. I mean, so much of our existence takes place online.
Yeah.
It's just, tracking all of that, I think it's just really smart to get ahead of it, because I think that would be really, really overwhelming in your estate planning.
Yeah. And so I think there's a couple different ways that they talk about how you can track it. There's certainly some online password trackers that you can use that are very secure, and that's what they tout. And how we talked about last week with changing your password every 3 months in order to keep it secure.
Complicates it a bit more.
Complicates it, but some of these like automatic and online password trackers can help take care of that. If you don't want to trust an online password manager, keep a physical list someplace.
Yeah, somewhere
safe.
Keep
it safe, but make sure you update it. And one of the other things they also talk about is making sure that your estate planning attorney or the executor of your estate has access to those. So that person should know either it's in your will or your trust information, or it's somewhere where they know to go find it.
Right. Well, it said to consider appointing a digital executor. Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was something specific. I just thought maybe it would be the executor that you had, which I'm sure you could still use. But now they have digital executors. That's how big of a deal this is.
Well, a financial executor might be different from your digital executor. Like you might want somebody else looking at your social media.
That's true.
Than somebody who's dealing with your house and your financial things.
A different kind of personal information that they would be dealing with and, rummaging through as you will.
Maybe your Ashley Madison account is on there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want that leaked. Wasn't there a big scandal with that?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Always a scandal.
Always a scandal.
All right. Well, I think we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back with more hot topics. All right, everyone. Welcome back to more hot topics. All right. Now we're going to talk about this real estate investor has a side hustle mining more than 110,000 in Bitcoin every month. And this is from every month. This is from CNBC.
Yep.
So I hope I'm not butchering this name. Ang Tang, I believe, is in the business of making money. I mean, he does it, he like literally does it all. But one of the many areas that he earns a lot of money is running 261 personal mining machines, generating the world's most popular digital token.
I think it's interesting, to your point, he has his fingers in a lot of different things. So he's real estate investing. He says he owns senior living facilities.
He has a passion with making money. I mean,
private equity firm that he runs, over $250 billion.
He's a financial renaissance man.
Yeah, he's into a lot of things. Does data analysis, and also Bitcoin mining.
Yes, which is just like an interesting process in itself, because I was reading this and it's just confused me, the idea of, it's like, are they, you can't physically mine digital money, right? And it's not that, no.
But you kind of do.
Yes,
so
but
like
not
that's
like
the crazy
not
thing.
like going in a cave, like with a light on your forehead, like I was imagining.
No canaries, no pickaxes, no nothing like that. Yeah,
it's not exactly that.
Right.
Well, I don't even know how to explain what it is. They're like really high processing computers, right?
Yes, that use a lot of energy, which we've talked about the environmental impact
that's right.
might be having on the world, because they use up a lot of energy.
Right.
You need to be connected to the network, and they're doing a lot of very intense computations, complex computations that mine the Bitcoin. So then it creates a Bitcoin through all these different computations.
Well, and now there's like retail companies, correct, of these machines that will...
Right. I thought that this was really interesting. The article is really talking about Compass Mining, which is a retail company that is helping your average person purchase a mining machine and setting it up for them to use and mine their own
They're
coin.
doing all the legwork.
So they're doing all the legwork, and you can purchase it. The prices for the machines are anywhere from $4,500 to $25,000, depending on if you buy it new or used. But the cool thing about Compass Mining, and they're not the only ones in this space, but sounds like one of the major players, is that they also then provide the maintenance. They hook you up to the areas where you need to be hooked up to and provide the power. So you're paying them for the machine.
Right.
And then you pay them like a monthly fee to be like in the network, basically. So they're making their money two different ways, but it does allow your average person. So they also talked about...
and this is how Ang Tang is doing it. This is his approach.
This is his approach, is that he has 261 machines, but there was another gentleman that they talk about in the article, and he only has one.
Right.
And he's not making quite as much as Mr. Tang,
but he still is coming out with a little extra spending cash at the end of the month.
Exactly.
Through this one machine.
Yeah, through this one machine. So it allows your everyday person, if you're super passionate about this or something that you're interested in doing, or a way to make money, a side hustle, etc.,
you can buy a mining machine.
Yeah, you can buy a mining machine. You too can mine your own Bitcoin.
Right. Now there are some environmental implications that come along with this. To keep in mind.
Exactly. But I think it's really interesting. So right now they're seeing that a lot of normal real estate investors are getting into the mining machine investing.
Right.
So people who probably have a little bit more risk tolerance are getting into the mining business.
Right. And it's interesting because last week we were talking about, the volatility, especially right now in cryptocurrency.
Right.
But it does seem like the technology and access to mining machines and cryptocurrency and everything is moving forward regardless of, the volatility that everybody is aware of.
Yeah.
And even kind of like the downturn, in cryptocurrency right now that we're experiencing. So it seems like it's still pushing forward and the interest is there. I mean,
I think it's really interesting. They also talk about the investment that both the single machine and Tang put in, and both of them should be getting back their investment within 2 years or 18 months. So I think that that's really interesting. And Tang says that he will get 65 to 75% return after he's fully paid off.
I mean,
every month.
I mean,
So
and that's why the real
amount of money.
estate investors are switching to this because the turnaround is so much faster than when you're going into, real estate, flipping homes or whatever it is that you want to do.
Or, doing investment properties where you're getting money every month, but it is a long-term investment, as we've talked about before, where you 7, 8, maybe even more years to get back that initial outlay.
Yeah, that's a huge difference. I want a machine.
Well, Compass Mining Company is the one that allows you to do it. At least that's the name we know. We know that there's other players out there, but this is the one that CNBC was really talking to and getting some information from.
Oh my goodness. I mean, the whole thing is, it's so over my head, what these computers are capable of, these high processing computers, and just the fact that a human created this technology that does this. It actually doesn't compute. I can't even, it hurts.
Well, I think it's interesting too that you are buying this machine, but it's not going to be in a place where you necessarily are, because there's certainly states that are better for mining in than others.
Which makes it sound like you're going to the cave where the cave is located to, mine.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Because there's still, location is still a part of it, which is
true.
Why when I was reading it, I'm like, well, there's too many similarities. This is freaking me out. You know what I mean? It kind of is like mining.
Right.
So
I guess they are using the right terminology. Before we got on air, we were talking about mining and
new word.
And we were like, we need a new word for this. It doesn't feel like it's right. But there are so many similarities to mining for gold or...
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Diamonds. I don't know.
Yeah, the whole thing is completely fascinating, but it just seems like it keeps unraveling and moving forward. This is the way of the future. And it's insane. I don't know.
A lot of things to learn.
A lot of things to learn. I don't know if I'll ever really learn about
And some of these people, it sounds like they're on the forefront of what could be the future.
Well, it sounds like they geek out over it as well.
That's also true.
I think it's just kind of fun for them to be at the forefront.
Right.
I wish I had that brain. It's so cool. All right, well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but we will be right back to talk about the shows airing today on ROI TV. Welcome back, everyone. I just am here to remind you not to miss today's episodes of Cunningham Legal, Mortgage Q&A with AJ, Medicare School, and Elder Needs Law. You can check out all these episodes, as always, on ROI TV. Where can they find this?
On your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or on your own phone, whether it's an iOS or Android. We have the ROI TV app, so you can watch on your own time.
Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Coffee with Kevin Hills. We will see you tomorrow with some more hot topics, a big cup of coffee, and we will be talking finances.